Now it's time for a special session by Making Public Finance Operations Simplified Through Technology by Arpita Khare, Additional Director, Directorate of Treasuries and Account, Department of Finance, Government of Madhya Pradesh. We welcome you, ma'am, on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. My introduction is mentioned in the slide here. I'm Arpita Khare. And with almost 3 decades of IT experience, so the time is very limited, which is given to me, but I'll just try to make it more, valuable for all of us. So basically, I'm asked to make presentation on public finance simplified through technology. Basically, technology is not the only component through which we can make any of the governance projects simplified. There are so many other components, but I'll just try to focus on technology. So agenda is technology-based transformations which have taken place in various state government throughout the country. I've got the exposure to work with at least 4 state governments to implement their e-governance projects in finance domain. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh, of course. I belong to Madhya Pradesh. So what kind of challenges are there, interventions which we should have? So I'll try to use one of the case study which we are doing recently, and the learning. What is the overall learning for the public finance, not just for the finance department for which I'm working on currently. So these are the challenges. These are the typical challenges in any of the government project, but I would like to focus more on the public finance projects which I have dealt. One is systems are not user-friendly. So that is one of the challenge because which we have to focus, right? Then the government process re-engineerings are not happening. So it is all translation instead of transformation. So whatever processes are there that are automated, they're not following the norms. So instead of transformations, only translations are happening. Then the third is whatever we do, whatever online, projects we are doing, physical touch points are always there. Then limited integrations with stakeholders. Somewhere or other, we are exchanging files. So it is not possible for us to have real-time system with end-to-end connectivity and service delivery. Then this all leads to reconciliation issues. Technical, challenges what we have in the government is usually SI, they are doing very good job in the private sector, but with government, a lot of issues are there. So non-efficient coding is one. Then technology platforms are old. Usually in finance, you see one of the challenges are projects are going on for 12 years, 15 years. So they all start with one platform and it will continue for very long. Then vendor lock-in is one major issue which we face. And I can take n number of examples courts or big SIs or products, whatever we use. Then legacy data migration is also one of the major concerns we have. Lack of system-based intelligence to identify frauds. So these are all technical. Then operational are then in government. Just now before me, Nikhil has spoken about PMU teams. They are really supporting a lot in Madhya Pradesh. There's no doubt about it. But when it comes to department as such, because PMU teams are doing their job, but there should be intrinsic knowledge from the department also. So sometimes we lack. We are very lucky, in finance department, we have TITS, information technology, cadre is there. So around 45 cadre people are there. They are all B.Tech. They are supporting the department. Then complicated contracts and MOUs are there. So it is very difficult for the government to understand SLAs, what SLAs are, what kind of, metrics they need to follow for making payment, and because of which payments are also getting delayed. Then no systematic approach for capacity building. So we need to just, it comes whenever there's an issue, we are just providing capacity building. So that shouldn't be the case. They should be planned way. And this is one of the very important thing which I would like to tell you, which we are following in our upcoming project. That is, governments throughout, they have been using waterfall method for the software development life cycle. Here we are departing, so I'll just come on that. This is just, I wanted to actually use that how computerization has moved to e-government to e-governance, then e-governance to digital transformation, and from digital transformation, currently we are here in digital ecosystem. So, like, I have just taken the example of my department, because we all started from 93 onwards on NIC software, then state financial management system, which was a kind of e-government initiative, and later on e-governance service delivery through online service delivery started from 2007 onward. Then we had centralized setup. So we all then moved to digital transformation in the form of IFMI's project. And now we have conceptualized and going forward for IFMI's next gen. So this is going to be up to 2029. So I would just like to brief you regarding one of the major projects which we have conceived, conceptualized, and just moving forward. So first is, like, when we talk about public finance, it is not that easy. I have studied almost 15 states in the country, and one thing which we have observed, it is really difficult to get a successful public finance project, especially in the state government in the country. 70% failures are there. It is very, very difficult to get successful project delivery in the finance parlance. So one of such component is mind-boggling statistics. I would just like to tell you that almost 1,89,186 crores of bills, they are getting generated from our system and passed from the system, and it is online, getting credited into vendors' accounts. Similarly, like, this is the statistics of 21-22, then 22-23, and challans, the receipts of, online receipts we are getting, 1,05,484 crores. So, you can understand the number of transactions and the, volume. Volume is high, and the amount is also quite humongous. So this is the kind of, stats we have. These are the kinds of stakeholders we are addressing. And we are paying salaries, for example, 10.53 lakhs of employees in the state. And we have 5.62 lakhs of pensioners. And these many, departments, budget controlling officers we have, 113, 52 odd departments, then 5,612 drawing and disbursing officers. They're all accessing to our system, and they are making a use of it. So this is what the vision and objectives. It took almost 1 year to conceptualize the project. And what I feel that this should be the time taken for any of the new initiative. If not 1 year, at least 6 months. We should be thorough that what we are looking for before releasing the RFP for any of the system integrator. So what we worked out that our system should be faceless, paperless, and contactless. Because see, whatever we have achieved over a period of 20 years is still we need to work on these areas. And digital ecosystem, we are looking for on latest technology platform. We already have online systems in place for past 20 odd years, and we are all working. I believe Madhya Pradesh is one of the torch bearers in terms of public finances for the past 20 years. But still we have to achieve a lot based on the upcoming technology trends and platforms. Then we are also looking for UI UX, user interface and user experiences. So our system is going to basically focus on that, and we have given a lot of marks for system design out of complete technology, whatever evaluation parameter we have. And all e-sanction is starting complete, I'll just talk about later. Complete financial management is going to be end-to-end online. No manual intervention, no physical touch points in order to avoid leakages of fraudulent payments. Then decision support system, because already for past 2 decades, we have systems in place, but at the apex level, at the finance department level, ACS level, we would like to have a dashboard so that, in the one screen, the ACS should be in a position to see what are the receipts available with the government, what are the expenditures which are happening, and what are the loans. So I'll just take that also into, later I have just put one slide on that. And use of emerging technologies is very important. And we have given a lot of use cases in that regard. Government process reengineering is the soul of the project, and we have worked a lot so that, we should not go for translation again. At least we can have transformation in a lot of processes which we have worked out. And last, there should be single source of truth. There shouldn't be parallel databases based on which government is going to make decision. So this was the overall methodology which we have used in last 1 year. So we all started with vision. Then we have worked out mission and values. We have worked out what are the global objectives and what are the specific objectives for the project. Based on global and specific objectives, we have gone for as-is assessment of the complete system. We must have studied at least 60 to 70 offices. Then we had technology scanning. We did best practices of international and national estates, at least 6 estates, PSU, RBI, AG, whatever we could do, we did. Finally, we recommended interventions in terms of people, process, technology, and resources. So that's what I was just informing you in the beginning. Technology is one of the pillars. There are other pillars also which we need to equally focus. So this is our complete upcoming project. These are all integration layer which we are going to have. This is going to be service-based architecture. All the modules are going to be linked to microservices, and here through APIs they will be linked with all the possible offices, so that we cannot have any kind of exchange through physical or manual mode. So now, this is a complete financial management cycle, starting from budget planning to vendor invoice submission to e-sanctions to bill payment, and then the receipts, then coming back to HRMS, because our payroll, complete estate is using our payroll only and our HRMS systems. Through retirement in the form of pension, then accounting and internal audit, local fund audit, then cash and debt management at the level of APEX, that is finance department. So this project is taking care of complete life cycle of the financial management systems. And as far as I'm aware, as far as we have studied, I don't think any of the states have gone for such comprehensive project in this kind of integrated manner. And I would like to thank my department, who has spent so much of time. We have taken guidance from the APEX level. All senior officials were involved in making this project successful up to this stage. So this is M-governance. Unfortunately, because this current project is quite old, so we are going to have M-governance through this project. So all kind of, all the departments are going to get benefited in the form of dashboard report. They can get all such, what are the expenditure status, what are the, receipt status. Vendor can get invoice generation status and complete, dashboard where the invoice is lying, right? Then BCO, DDO, TOs, they'll get bill status. There are going to be, n number of services, especially pensioners can get life certificate generated through this app. This is I wanted to speak on this. This agile, I believe, whatever inputs we have received, Madhya Pradesh and this finance department is the only, state and the department in the government which is going for agile transformation. So this was one of our very, first objective, that we wanted to adopt agile methodology instead of waterfall, because we have seen a lot of, consequences for following waterfall. For example, in our previous project, it took a lot of time for SRS getting approved. So this is going to be continuous integration and continuous development kind of a project. And we are doing a lot of initiatives so that our department can get all the users who are going to give requirements to the SI, and later on, so they are going to get trained through this methodology, and we have started working on this. Emerging technologies, because these are the latest technologies which all are talking about in previous session, yesterday's session. So in this project, we are going to use emerging technologies, and we have given a lot of use cases in the in our RFP, so that the SI is going to develop. And there are so many emerging technologies. So right now we are going for AI/ML, DevSecOps, robotic process automation, data analytics, and cloud partially, if MPSCDC allows. So we would like to have cloud. And we are still working on the use cases of blockchain, which are there. So so this is going to be almost 6.5 years of project. And sooner or later, we would like to have a use of more and more emerging technologies. So these are the AI/ML use cases which we have worked out: cash flow forecasting for the department, revenue forecasting, automated bill reviews. Whatever bills are coming to the treasuries, so automated, some review can happen without manual intervention. Then transaction monitoring. So some, we are going to work out some queries through which, based on the risk profiling of the transaction, we can have automated reconciliation. Then vendor profiling, because we have so many vendors who are directly getting connected to the treasury system in future. Expenditure analytics, we are going to have chatbots. So this is going to be a typical MIS and GIS kind of dashboard, which we are looking forward. So at one dashboard, complete state financial position can be given. So this is a part of visual analytics, which is very useful for government, especially at a very senior level. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for them to see the number. So this is what we are proposing. And I have just taken one slide on user journey, how easy the user journey going to be for vendors, but I would like to talk about pensioner. So right now, pensioner, although our system is totally online and it is completely automated online end-to-end, but still, pensioners are having issues and they need to come to banks or to our office, few pensioners. But here, the way we have devised, all where new is written, so these are the new, features or processes we have introduced, so that, they are not required to come physically to any of the offices. So one is they need, they can get live certificate through this system itself. So this is final, which is overall public finance. I'm not talking about IFMIS in general. The kind of experience I have of 2.5 decades with so many IT system, e-governance project. For example, I was involved with Aadhaar conceptualization also, and so many state government e-governance projects. So this is what, I feel that this should be the takeaway. One is we should move from IT to ET. So information technology to emerging technologies and ecosystem technologies. So here, right now, people are talking about emerging technologies, but going forward, we have to go for ecosystem technologies. So why ecosystem? So as you are all aware that, internet is one such example. No one is owner. No one is having, control over it. They're all following protocols. And it is all community-based, ownership. So this is going to be the future from emerging technologies to ecosystem technologies, and we should move towards that. Still people talk about products, so we have to move from products to platforms, and from platforms to protocols. So this is the upcoming thing. A lot of work is going on in Government of India, and this IMF, World Economic Forum, they're all working on it. So very soon we are going to get guidelines on it. Then responsible deployment of emerging technologies is very much important, because we are all running after emerging technologies. And you'll be surprised that when we were finalizing emerging technologies for our department, so intentionally we have not gone for blockchain, because department has to be sensitive enough to identify what type of emerging technologies are useful for the department, usage. Then centralization to decentralization is one thing, because what we have observed over a period of time, that government is becoming centralized day by day. So from decentralized system to centralized, and now they are making it more centralized. So this we need to, we have to come out of it. So that will give de-risking and democratization of systems. So this is also one of the thing which I thought I should discuss with you. Then use of 3 O's. So open source, open standards, and open APIs. So we should always go for 3 O's, and Government of India is also promoting the same. And going forward, because in southern state where startups are there, they are promoting a lot of innovation, they are giving a lot of benefits to them so that they can start thinking, ideating. So that innovation we need to promote in terms of business models, use cases, we need to support them. And the last one is access to data. In finance department, we have humongous data available with us. So based on the protection, whatever protection, data protection protocols are going to be there, we should use data, we should share data with and data interoperability is also neutral. Data interoperability is very important, and we should look into it from the government perspective. So last is, the mantra is we need to think big, but we have to start small and scale fast. If we are able to do it, and one thing I would like to tell you, and I take always, privilege, that the project which we have introduced in 2003, State Financial Management System, that was introduced in a very, we thought big. It was started small, but then we scaled up fast in just, few months' time, 6 months' time. And that was one of the very successful project of the state. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arpita ma'am, on such an insightful presentation on the use of technology for making public finance operations simplified.